Welcome to Young Achievers, where we celebrate extraordinary youth who are making their mark on the world, whether it's through innovation, entrepreneurship, giving back, or breaking new ground. On this episode, we're going to meet
Gitanjali Rao.
Gitanjali Rao is a teenage scientist and inventor who's already changing the world. Recognized by Time magazine as the first ever Kid of the Year,
Gitanjali has used her passion to tackle issues like water contamination, cyberbullying, and more.
Hi, my name is Gitanjali Rao. I'm 18 years old. I'm a current sophomore at MIT, double majoring in bioengineering and business management. Right now, my work focuses on my own personal research, which ends up turning into my innovations, and also my mission for STEM advocacy, reaching out to students across the world and hopefully starting an innovation movement.
What or who inspired you to start and accomplish these goals?
A big part of my inspiration was actually just seeing the way the world was and growing up in a household where I was taught that if you don't like the way something is, fix it. And I really stuck with that message all the way through elementary, middle, high school, even college. And I realized very quickly that I don't like the way the world is. And so a lot of these problems that I'm solving and this mission towards education accessibility just started with this very small idea of what didn't I like and what did I want to fix. And quickly from there, I realized that if no one else is going to do it, I have to take that first step. And I started seeing technology out there that caught my eye, and I realized that you could connect it back to some of these problems. And so my mission for science kind of started with this overarching idea of quite literally wanting to put a smile on people's face and see the world be a better place.
Who inspired you?
Since I was very young, I've always had at least one person that I've looked up to. Obviously, my parents are my biggest mentors and role models. They've been my biggest support system since day one. But apart from that, it's the people that I worked in labs with, right? The people twice my age that would sit on Zoom calls with me and help me understand different sorts of chemistry concepts and answer my questions. There's all sorts of people who really at the end of the day took a chance on this 11-year-old with a dream and an idea and kind of let it play out to watch it happen. And who believed in her when no one else really did.
Can you tell us about some of the toughest obstacles you faced along the way?
One of the biggest challenges that I've faced is actually being taken seriously for my age, my race, my gender, everything that has to go with it, right? There's this common misconception that innovation has a specific face to it, but I think that the only real requirement to innovate is personal zeal and passion. And I think I've really kind of exemplified that. And every time I realize, or think that I'm alone in this journey, I very quickly realize that even if I'm, one of very, very few people doing this, that I'm a trailblazer for everyone ahead of me who might want to innovate. Because if I can do it, anyone can do it.
What achievement are you most proud of and why?
At this moment, I think my biggest success is actually reaching out to the 90,000 students that I've worked with. I had this very intense goal of trying to hit 50,000 in the middle of COVID-19. And I knew that I really wanted to do it. And it happened so quickly because more people were online and more people wanted things to do. But that number almost doubled itself within the past 4 years, which I'm super, super excited about. And I hope to, hit my goal of 100,000 very soon. But I think the most exciting part is that there's 90,000 new budding ideas across the world waiting to be harnessed and unleashed.
Was there a time when something didn't go as you expected?
One of my biggest letdowns and challenges through the journey was actually when I was very young, when I was 11 or 12 years old. And I sent out over 50 to 100 emails and made 50 phone calls to labs and people to say, hey, I have this idea. I just need you to hear me out. And for some reason, my 11-year-old brain thought that everyone would say yes, right? It's a genius idea. But very clearly and very quickly, I realized that that's not the way the world works. And, there were so many people out there who didn't respond or said, hey, you're too young, come back later. But there were 2 or 3 people who responded, one of those being Denver Water Quality, where one of my biggest mentors is from. And I realized very quickly that, the people whose opinions do matter, and the people whose opinions don't. And so it's important to look up to the peoples that, you care about their opinion. You care about what they think about you and what they think about the world, and not the people who are going to choose to dislike you no matter what you do.
What advice would you give to other young people who want to follow in your footsteps?
My biggest piece of advice to anyone young who wants to innovate, maybe doesn't have access to mentors, would be to take the risk right now when it doesn't matter versus when it does. Start building something. Start coming up with an idea, right? And, more times than not, somebody will realize your potential and how incredible it can be for the world. Even if it feels like, you're the only one doing this, you have to realize that you truly are not alone.
What legacy do you hope to leave behind?
I hope to leave behind this kind of idea that innovation isn't limited to academia or the industry. It's in our everyday lives. It's about finding it, it's about harnessing it, it's about utilizing it to make a difference.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received, and who gave it to you?
I think one of the best pieces of advice actually came from one of my mentors, who happens to also be the co-founder of Moderna. His name is Bob Langer. He's incredible. He told me when I interned for his lab last summer. He told me when I walked in, I told him I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do. It's these very simple words. He said, "You can do whatever you want." And I think, it's not very profound advice at the end of the day, but it's something that I needed to hear, because at the end of the day, your life is so short, the world is so big, and you have so much control over your life. So it's important to do whatever you want right now. I'm proud to say that I failed more times than I've succeeded. So make sure to remember that failure is intertwined in everything that you do, right? Messing up and trying things again allows you to be the best version of yourself. And that's much easier said than done, but always put your best foot forward, regardless of if you think you might fail.
Gitanjali Rao's groundbreaking inventions prove that with curiosity and determination, you can tackle the world's biggest challenges no matter how young you are.
Whether it's science, technology, or anything you love, your ideas can make a real impact. So, what will you create? The next big discovery could be yours.
Start dreaming, start innovating, just like Gitanjali. I'll see you next time on Young Achievers.